All right. So how are you feeling today?
You know, first of all, Mr. Mulch, I just want to tell you thank you so much. I feel like I have a safe place to come and talk and try to work these things out. You know, I just took on this new position, and now I'm a facility manager. And I like the job. I like most of the people that I work with, but I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
Well, that can happen sometimes when you start a new position. The best thing to do is just take everything in stride and not feel too overwhelmed about the work you're doing, because that can cause you to make mistakes and that'll put more pressure on you.
Yeah.
So how have your moods been lately? Have you been feeling escalated, angry lately?
You know, I'm very aware of the fact that I can't let my mood play in too much, because then the clients that we have at the house pick up on that and it makes my job even harder. But I have to tell you, my mood is very frustrated when I work with this one person.
Okay.
And when I work with that person, I feel she's very critical. And it's like I can't do anything right. And she and I are at the same level. She's not above me. She's not my supervisor, although she was before I took the position.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're at the same level, I often feel like she's being critical without warrant. I think I try really hard to do my job, and some things I do that I know she doesn't even do, but she's going to be critical of me.
Okay.
Should I give you an example? Would that be helpful?
Sure.
So last week I had, one of my duties was to clean out a student's room, because we had had a student leave and a new one was getting ready to come. And I had the broom and I was sweeping in the corner of the room, and she came into the room and just was starting to nitpick. Could you do this? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? And I felt myself getting totally escalated.
Okay.
So instead of talking to her about it, I decided that it would be best to remove myself from the situation. And that way the clients couldn't hear us disagreeing too. So I went outside and I took the broom that I was using, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit this to you, but my way of coping with it was to go out into the woods, and I took my broom and I was beating it up against trees out in the wood. And somehow it felt like it was a release, like all that anger was coming out on the trees.
And I can understand that, though I will say that doing that in a work setting could jeopardize your position if they had seen you. So maybe we would try other forms of release, like maybe could you have gone out to your car and turned up music and listened to that really loud and sang along, and that would have been a good way to let out your anxiety and frustration without doing physical damage to work property or...
Yeah, I wish I would have thought of that. That is a great idea. I'm going to write that down if it happens again, because that is a great idea, because then I'm in my own space, and if I bang on the steering wheel, it's my steering wheel.
Yeah.
The other thing that went along with that is I have a coworker who's very sympathetic to how I feel, because she often feels the same way.
Okay.
And the person who's the other facility manager doesn't like the fact, I think there's a jealousy thing, but doesn't like the fact when the other person tries to talk me through things, or, you know, is just a sympathetic ear like you are, but in the work situation. So when I was down in the woods, I heard my friend call out my name, and I knew that she was there. And well, number one, I was embarrassed, because here I am, a grown woman out in the woods banging a broom against the tree to de-escalate. But I was also very thankful that she was there for me. But then I heard the other facility manager come out and reprimand her for being away from her position and trying to help me. She said it was not her place to do that. And I I felt very bad about that I had included her in it. Am I doing the right thing by having her as a support person?
No, I believe having a support person that you can talk to about your problems outside of counseling is very beneficial to someone in your position. I would definitely encourage you to continue using that relationship. Is there anybody higher up than the other facility manager that you could talk to about the issue?
Yes, the administrator.
Maybe you might want to do that and just kind of tell them what's going on so they have a understanding of what's going on with that whole situation. And that could also be a way of alleviating some of the stress that you're feeling about it.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. I really like your idea about the music.
Yeah. Another good coping skill would be, take like a 10-minute walk. That would you can just separate and let yourself kind of get out of the whole situation and get away from all the stuff that's making you angry. Another thing that I would suggest that I find beneficial is mindfulness exercises. I know we've worked on a few in the past, but why don't we go over one right now and help you learn to de-escalate when you're in those type of situations.
Sounds great.
So the best way to start it is to close your eyes, let things out of your mind, and take a deep breath at a 10 count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then hold it, then release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And repeat that process over and over again until your mind starts to feel clear and you can think about things in a more calm manner. Alright, so how do you feel now after doing that mindfulness exercise?
I think if I would have had that tool in my toolbox the day that happened, I could have not even had to go to my truck. I could have just said I had to go to the restroom and have done that in the restroom, and no one would have even questioned why I wasn't at my work.
I do like that idea of going to the restroom, because then you aren't cueing people in that you need time to de-escalate. So,
and I feel like that really worked. I felt the calmness coming over me, and I felt like I was more in control, and I like the fact that I could do it on my own without them saying, well, where is she? Why isn't she at work? Because everyone's allowed to go to the restroom. Thank you.
Yep, that is true. So, okay, well, I'm glad that helps you, and I would like you to try that next time you get escalated.
I totally will.
And so we'll meet again in next week. We'll talk about what's going on, and maybe we can learn and practice other mindfulness exercises. And you could look up some on your own and find some that could be beneficial to you, because everybody's different. Everybody finds different methods beneficial and helpful. So
I really appreciate your ideas, and most of all, I appreciate your non-judgmental. I could tell you things about what happened, and it's like you totally get it.
This is an open space, and you're free to express your feelings whatever way you need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to work with you.